Welcome to the pod. You are listening to What the Reality with me, Kasha Roberts, and we are back with another. It is toxic, but it is a Tuesday. Toxic Tuesdays, toxic, but it's Tuesdays. However you want to say it, welcome to the pod. What is going on? We got reality topics to talk about. I want to talk about some stuff I'm watching before we get into Real Housewives of Atlanta Part 2. I'd probably give it like a solid 6 for this reunion. There's just a lot of stuff going on and not in a good way. Like, I just feel like the ladies are all over the place, specifically Angela and Shamia, to be exact. I feel like Drew is the MVP, and there's no reason for her not to have the first seat over Shamia. I feel like Shamia definitely underperformed, and it just sucks because it's like she's been waiting this whole time to be like a housewife, and it's like everything she says is just flopping. Also, some stuff that flopped for me was definitely Angela. I just feel like with Angela, we're going to talk about it because my issue with the new girls thus far is their habit of relating stuff to things when they weren't on the show. And it's like, you weren't there. So it's like even Kelly coming in, calling Drew like a liar. It's like, that's perceived on what you've seen. Like, why don't you give yourself an opportunity to get to know this girl? Like, at the end of the day, reality TV is all an edited version. And these are very extreme, skewed versions of these people. And I just really dislike how the newbies have came into this iconic show and are bringing up stuff from season 9, Angela. And I don't know, like, I understand why some of the people are still mad at Phaedra, but I'm just kind of like, that happened in season 9. We are in season 16. Like, yes, she hasn't been there since season 9, but that has been like well over like 8-9 years ago. Like, I'm just saying, and you weren't there. We'll talk about it. Unfortunately, let's break the sad news first. Like, Malcolm Jamal Walker from The Cosby Show and a bunch of other stuff has suddenly passed away in an unexpected drowning in Costa Rica. So that happened very suddenly. I have the statement here from People. So apparently he passed away July 20th. Obviously, I'm reading this the 21st, but you'll be hearing this the 22nd. So he died on a family trip, which is just honestly so heartbreaking. He was 54. He was swimming in Costa Rica on family vacation and drowned. And yeah, that's what we have right now. Very unfortunate. I think that's like a very shocking death, at least for me. Like, yes, like, you say what you want about the Cosby Show, please say what you want, but Malcolm was a very stellar actor, and I just feel like I low-key like grew up with Malcolm. Like, so it is crazy to me that he's unfortunately passed away. He was so young, and my thoughts and prayers are with his family. 54 is very young, and especially such a freak accident like swimming. So it is very crazy. It's kind of rocked the Black community, especially because he is such a huge child star. And yeah, he was on a lot of stuff. Very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Let's talk about some other news, some other reality topics. Jax Taylor has officially left the Valley. I'm genuinely shocked. So I've been watching the Valley. I've been very not critical of it. I've been critical of it. I've been very critical about the Valley this season because I just felt like Jax got out of rehab and we're still coming after Nia and Danny, or while he was in rehab or that facility he was in, they were coming for Danny and Nia. Did not like that. And I just feel like they're all a bunch of hypocrites. Like, y'all are constantly talking about Danny's drinking while y'all are all drunk, like, a good amount of the time. Like, y'all stay drunk on that show. I feel like I don't like what they're doing, trying to paint Danny as this like alcoholic, this creep. Wrong edit. So now I just really hope that next season isn't that to the extreme, because I have a feeling now that Jax will not be on here, people are going to be doing the absolute most again in efforts to stir up a storyline. I don't know what Brittany's going to talk about because her whole storyline has been Jax. I didn't know Jax made the decision to leave. I feel like production definitely was pointing him in that direction. They're just kind of like, it's probably time that you bow out. I know a lot of fans on social media, at least, have been like, why is Jax still on this show? He's an abuser. Like, they were super upset when he was on Watch Evans Live. He just has very big, like, anger issues, huge, like, control issues. He is an addict. You can see it clear as day, even that he's out of the rehab facility, at least on the Valley, like the aftermath of that. He doesn't seem sober to me. He says he's sober in real time, but the fan feedback has been crazy. Andy Cohen did react. He said he did think it was a good decision and he thinks he needs to work some S out without the cameras around. They said they also talked about this at the reunion. The Valley's season finale is coming on this week, along with Next Gen NYZ, which was really good. I really enjoyed that. But Andy also said this comes up at the reunion. I have kind of a serious conversation with him about his needs for control and his anger issues and what's going on to take and what it is going to take for him to get to a better place with Brittany and in the world. He said he hopes he takes the time to lean into this away from the cameras. It's so funny because it seems like, though, like, this is Jax Taylor's curse. Like, this is the second time he has said on a show, this is my show, this is my stuff, like, I run it. And it's like you've literally been booted off of the show after that. I don't think it was his decision to leave. I really don't. I think he was pushed out of the show, rightfully so. It's very hard for me to believe that Jax Taylor himself was like, you know what, let me take a step back. No, he was definitely pushed out. The fans are calling him very, very toxic. He's getting a lot of backlash on social media right now. There was a recent episode where Brittany's just like, you know what, I got it. I will pay for everything. I just need you to give me money for Cruz's medication. Give me at least half of that. That's basically what child support is. She'll pay for his school and everything. Brittany's paying for a lot. And then he was like, well, I'm going to take you to court. I'm not giving you money for his medication. Like, it was very disgusting what he said. And so I think that ruffled a lot of people's feathers too. It's like, you're not even trying to take care of he's not like your sick kid. You're not even trying to pay for his medication. Like, you just see a whole other side of Jax. What I will say though about Brittany, she provokes him a lot for a reaction, which I want to talk about. And it's kind of like, when you're dealing with narcissists, why bother provoking them? Because when you're dealing with narcissists, one, you're never right. In a narcissist's eyes, they're always correct. Therefore, you have to learn how to play chess. And I don't think Brittany knows how to play chess. I don't think she knows how to play checkers. But I don't think she realizes that she escalates the situation. And I'm not saying, like, it's exhausting to be the bigger person all the time. I totally get that. But a lot of stuff could have been handled a lot better, in my opinion. Like, especially when he's calling her. He's like, hey, you just got a code sent to your phone for the Ring camera, because he's setting up the cameras. Now, clearly Brittany knows Jax better than anyone. But based on the scene prior to that, we knew he was going to be calling her for that code because he's trying to set up cameras in the nursery so that she has access to that. She saw it as, now you want to see what I'm doing in the house, and caused this whole scene in front of Kristen and them. And I feel like she does this stuff to kind of get more of a victim edit, a sympathy vote, like a sympathy edit. Like, I feel like she kind of does that stuff even more to an extreme. And it's very infuriating because I'm just like, girl, why did you have to call a man and put him on speaker? And I'm just like, so now that he's not going to be on the show, Brittany, you do know you're going to have to really clock in. And it can't be about Jax all the time because we're not seeing his perspective now. Like, it's kind of like, you got to clock in, girl. It can't just be about Jax. And I swear, if they make this a Danny and Nia thing, because they handled their marriage accordingly, they aren't quick to put each other on blast. We also don't want to see that. So I'm curious what this means for the Valley's future, because we clearly needed a villain. I even feel like Jesse's not really a villain. I feel like Michelle's a villain. Like, I feel like Michelle cheated on Jesse, clearly. Even though I don't care because they're not together anymore. It's kind of like when, like, Lindsay was trying to prove on Summer House that, like, Carl cheated on her, or there was an overlap in communications. But I'm like, girl, you was pregnant with somebody's whole kid right now. Like, I don't really care if he cheated on you or not, because it's kind of like, you've moved on in life. Like, why do we care about that? So with Jesse, I don't really care, because it's like, you were dating a new girl. Michelle's like head over heels for this Aaron guy that doesn't blink. I don't really care if she did cheat on you. Do we think she cheated on him? 110%. who wouldn't think that Michelle cheated on Jesse? It's so clear. It's clear as day. I'm saying, as an audience, we're sick of that storyline. I'm sick of Jasmine's storyline. It was laughable that they showed Danny and Nia that house. On the right side, I did see something on Twitter that Danny and Nia did move into this gorgeous house in, I was going to say Pasadena. No, wherever, Santa Clark or wherever he wanted to really move, it's beautiful. It's spacious for the amount of children they have. And, they just had another kid. It was beautiful because I feel like Nia just wanted to be close to her friends. But I'm like, these people are not your friends besides Kirsten. I can understand if it was family nearby. I don't even think her family is nearby. Like, these people are not your friends. So I'm wondering if that even pushed her further to be like, you know what, let's move to Santa Clark. Like, I don't mind a drive because you want better schools. You need more space. It wasn't cutting it in LA, the Valley. Like, it's not cutting it. And it's like, I didn't understand Nia on that because I'm like, girl, you don't want to keep having these kids, but you don't want no space for them. You want y'all to suffer. Like, they're literally suffering. But no, I love Danny and Nia. What else is going on? So, Denise Richards, Aaron Phypers. I thought it was Phypers. It's Phypers. This divorce is getting ugly. So, there's so much I have to pull up. Okay, so Denise filed a restraining order. And she was granted that. She was alleging abuse allegations. So he officially filed for divorce. All of this stuff came out July 7th. He noted their official separation date as 4th of July. Something happened 4th of July. So Denise Richards now is responding back to that with a restraining order. She's saying throughout the relationship, this is a quote from Denise. She's saying throughout the relationship that Aaron would frequently violently choke me, violently squeeze my head with both hands, tightly squeeze my arms, violently slap me in the face and head, aggressively slam my head into the bathroom towel rack, and more. And those are court documents from TMZ. In the filing, Richards, this is from MSN. In the filing, Richards wrote that Phypers threatened to kill her and himself if she reported him to the police. She also wrote that he had at least 8 unregistered guns. So the court documents detail several specific incidents of Phypers allegedly controlling and abusive behavior. In 2022 incident, Phypers, a former actor who later founded a holistic healing center in California, which I'm like, where is that center at now? Like, I don't know what happened to it. Allegedly became paranoid that the plotted plants at his workplace contained listening devices. He then allegedly struck Richards in the face, giving her a black eye and called her an effing B. Then we also see her take that picture of her eye and post that, or we saw the images for that one. So a photo included with the filing showed her with a black bleeding and a deep purple, it was like bruised, battered eye, clearly a black eye. So then another incident, Richards suggested that Phypers not accompany her on a work trip. In response, he grabbed her by the back of the head and slammed her to the ground, screaming that he did not trust her. Then on 4th of July, which is when everything officially blew over, he allegedly stormed into her office and demanded to see her phone. When she refused and threatened to call the police, he grabbed her arm and warned her, "I would like to see the cops take me away. I will blow everything up if they try." The incident continued until July 5th, according to the filing, with Phypers allegedly calling Richards "see you next Tuesday" whore. 2 days later, Phypers filed for divorce and listed 4th of July as their separation date. He is seeking spousal support and has asked to keep their assets and debts separate. But he's seeking spousal support, but now she got all this evidence of him being abusive. You're not going to get any spousal support. The temporary restraining order is requiring Phypers to stay at least 100 yards away until at least August 8th, when the two are scheduled to appear in court. So then this happened today, July 21st. It's a lot of dates. So now he just got the cops involved again. So he went to the police station, and where's this talking about what he did? So he posted a video, I think, like over the weekend, talking about that Denise Richards actually was cheating on him, and he found messages between her and another man on the laptop and saved them on his phone. And they're saying this is what happened from 4th of July. When he found his phone, he says Aaron claims on July 4th, he found his phone smashed into pieces in a recycling bin. He alleges Denise smashed the device because it contained photos of texts proving she carried on an alleged affair. So this huge 4th of July fight apparently is assisting there, but it's something to do with some phones, because even Denise Richards is alleging that he took her phone as well. Very hard to keep up, but something big happened on the 4th of July. Okay, so she's alleging on 4th of July that he demanded to see her phone because, and now we get the other part of that, he thought she was having an affair. And when she refused and threatened to call the police, he grabbed her. And so he's saying the only reason he was asking for her phone is because he believed she was having an affair. So then he took her phone, sent it to him for evidence. I'm assuming this is evidence to lead up to spousal support. She took the phone, smashed it to the ground, allegedly. And all of that has been erased. Or I don't know if he has a Mac. I don't know. He might be able to still see it if he did send it to his phone. But either way, 4th of July seems like is really like put off. It set something in motion for the grounds of the teardown of this relationship. They say women go to Beverly Hills to get divorced, and it looks as though that is true. Heart goes out to Denise because those pictures were graphic she showed of her black eye. I do believe that he was most likely allegedly abusive, because now we get a scene of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And you guys remember season 10 when there was like accusations of like her creeping around with Brandy. She was super nervous that Aaron was going to find out. She did not want him to find out. And I remember at the like barbecue, it was never a barbecue, Kyle had bangs, y'all remember. But she was like, we are on camera, like talking to him because he was mad about the rumors. And then he said, you need to be quiet or like I'll break your arm, twist your arm or something. In her restraining order, she's alleging that he would twist her arm a lot. So it's all believable. This is very unfortunate. This is all very unfortunate. And I'm going to keep updating you guys with that story because that is very crazy to me, is ballistic to me. All right, let's get in. Okay, Astronomer. we got to talk about Astronomer. So the CEO has resigned. Do I have his statement up? I don't have his statement up, but a lot of people are like, well, what's the issue with Astronomer CEO and a head of HR creeping around? The issue is it's a head of HR and it's the CEO. So did the head of it's like literal ethics at a company, unless it was disclosed, that is literal morale and ethics violation. That is a violation of code 544. That is an ethics violation 110%. That should not have happened at all. What's crazy is like this was all put on blast at the Coldplay concert. People are now recreating this viral moment. It's not funny, but it's just crazy to me. Everyone and their mama is literally hoping to get captured on the Jumbotron, and they are recreating the moments. The biggest mistake they made in this viral moment, the Astronomer CEO and the head of HR, was acting like they shouldn't have been there. They should have just pretended that they should have just acted like not news to this, but I understand when you're probably cheating and having an affair, it's kind of like, okay, this is our secret. And now your secret was just blasted on a Jumbotron at a Coldplay concert. But if they had just acted more normal, this would not have been trending. Their spouses would not have known, and they could have went on their merry way of cheating and having an affair. The kiss cam, like the kiss cam is working overtime now. If you go to any public outing, if you're at a baseball game, if you're at a basketball game, even though it's not basketball season, if you were at a baseball game at any moment, you were possibly going to be on the Jumbotron if you were doing a certain move. I wanted to get his statement to see what he says. He said, oh my gosh, where is his statement? I need this statement to see what he says, because there was a fake statement going around, but he just issued one today, and I'm looking. No, I can't find his statement. But his wife did take his last name down on social media. I don't know if he has a statement. There's just being reported that he resigned. Okay, Astronomer CEO Andy Byron has tendered his resignation 3 days after he was seen in a loving embrace with the head of the company's HR department. As stated previously, Astronomer is committed, quote unquote, Astronomer is committed to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently that standard was not met. The company's statement released Saturday reads, Andy Byron has tendered his resignation and the board of directors has accepted. The board will begin a search for our next chief executive. As co-founder and chief product officer Pete DeJoy continues to serve as interim CEO. Before this week, we were known as a pioneer in the data ops space, helping data teams power everything from modern analytics to production AI. While awareness of our company may have changed overnight, our product and our work for our customers have not. We're continuing to do what we do best, helping our customers with the toughest data and AI problems. So I think that's also a big thing is like you have such a huge company like that or like successful company. Now it's like being overshadowed with this affair, which is clearly not good for the company. I mean, they're talking about the company, but it's not a good thing that the CEO was caught in this sort of mess. And it's very unfortunate because just don't cheat. And if you're going to cheat, don't go to a Coldplay concert. So let's talk about what I'm watching before we get into Basketball Wives, because we're about to be right there. I mean, not Basketball Wives, we're about to get to Real Housewives of Atlanta Reunion Part 2. I gave it a 6. I'm talking about Basketball Wives though, real quick. So I've been eating it up. I think Basketball Wives this season has been really good. I don't know why Chantel's on the show. I think Chantel has very huge mommy issues. Granted, we don't know how Mama Jackie's like. We're getting a little highlight, like her saying she don't want to have a conversation with her daughter unless it's on her YouTube or her talk show. That's a red flag. We know the rumors and nastiness from the earlier seasons when she said she would treat the other daughter a certain type of way. The other daughter was dark skinned. And, you know, Chantel looks just like her mom, which I know Chantel hates. And then she's just like very light skinned. But Chantel has now been like inflated. Her ego's been inflated that she thinks like all of the ladies on her side. I don't think she realizes once this season ends, your relationship with your mom is still going to be pretty messed up, which is why I will never understand why people get on a show to mess up their family relationships. That's just something you can't really go back from. And it's like, you already know you have issues with your mom, and now you're doing everything to provoke her to kind of get the audience, which a good amount of the audience already sees, like you have a narcissist mom. At the end of the day, though, it's Jackie Christie, and she's there to deliver for Basketball Wives. She don't want to put y'all stuff on there, and you got to respect that. You have to respect that. And I don't think Chantel understands that when the season's done airing or when the show wrapped filming, now what? Like, what is your end goal? Brandy asked her that. She's like, so what is the point of coming at your mom aggressive on TV while cameras are rolling? What is your point at the end of the day? Because this all will go down and you and your mom still will not be on good terms. So it's like kind of like, I think Chantel is very much her mom. So it's like, but I think even Jackie had a limit. She didn't want to, this isn't up for debate. She doesn't want any of the women talking about her relationship. And you can't fault that. I do think certain things are off limits when it comes to filming. And Chantel is not getting that, because at the end of the day, do you really think audience is going to want you over your mom? And I think that's also another thing. It's like she's so quick to get everyone rally against Jackie. Jackie's been in this place before. The odds have been against her countless times. Jackie bounces back. It's Jackie freaking Christie. It's Basketball Wives. Like, you know what I mean? Chantel, unfortunately, I don't think you can bounce back because where it's kind of becoming very clear to the audience how much you are provoking your mom. So she does get this edit. When it's like you should just let her do what she do, that crazy stuff. And then we would have been on your side even more. I go back and forth with their sides. I think Jackie's YouTube talk show comment was wild, but I know there's also going to be a new episode tonight, which I can't wait. I'm probably not going to watch it though until like the end of the week, but where they do get into their altercation. And a lot of times it was written as if Jackie just swung on her daughter, but now we see more of the clip where Chantel's just like literally pushing her. And it's like, then she swings on you. You're going to the girls and you're showing what she did. And then you're just like so happy about it because you wanted that to happen. You want your mom off of Basketball Wives, but your mom gave so much sweat and tears towards Basketball Wives. It'll always be her show. And I think Chantel is letting the big three, which I think is so lame. Like, you guys are literally 30 years old calling yourself the big three. Like, I think that is such loser behavior to give yourself a nickname for your friends. I mean, yeah, I did that in college, but that was freaking college. I was like 18, 19. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's such loser behavior to call yourself the big three. Like, we're the, like what I'm gonna say, I really don't care about the big three. Like, how old are we? But I think Brittany and Denise are like inflating her ego. I think she thinks next season she'll be asked back, and she may be, but I'll tell you what, even if you are asked back and your mom doesn't come back, what do you have to bring to the show besides this resentment and this hatred you have for your mom? I don't think she offers that much. I think Chantel kind of has a nasty attitude. She can't dress. She's very not fun. Like, she's not witty. So I'm just kind of like, the personality sucks. I don't know how far you can go on this show without your mom is what I'm saying. And it's just unfortunate that we're seeing this mother-daughter relationship get totally beaten down by a bunch of he say, she say. Denise is running back saying a bunch of stuff. Brandy, had her words to say, and Jackie did not stand up for her daughter, which I thought was wild. Like, that couldn't be me. But, they're letting the outside influence it, and it's not looking great. Jackie does not take accountability, and Chantel comes at her. And I get it because you probably know how your mom is. And it's like, but how much of this is for cameras? So I think a lot of it's for cameras. And I think it's very bizarre for you to be talking with these women about how your mom is, but your mom can't do the same. And as far as we've seen, Jackie is trying her best not to engage with the BS. She is Meredith Marksing on your butt. Destination X. Started watching that. Janae Craig from Love Island, USA. Those were the good times. Before these fans, these HUD rats were crazy. That was the good times. Janae's on there. Pilot Pete is on there, who I didn't register he was a pilot until he said, he has over 10 plus years of flying. I guess that's where his nickname comes from. I know him from Traders. Some people know him from The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Still Ain't Find Love. He was dating Ekin-Su for a minute. Clock it. I guess that didn't work out. He's like the most eligible bachelor. I like Pilot Pete, besides when he was trying to get Phaedra out. Like, he kind of knew it was Phaedra. Because that season of Traders was really good. Who else is on there? Josh was on there from the challenge. Spoiler alert, Josh didn't even make it to the second episode. He was not on there pretty long. There's some other folks on there, and then there's some regular folks. I'm liking Destination X. I think it comes on like Fox or something, and then it comes on Peacock. So I thought I was binging the whole series. I watched 8 episodes, but apparently there's more episodes coming out. So maybe it's going to be 9 or 10. I thought I was literally at the finale, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's getting as much promo on Peacock like I think it should. I think it should be in the front. Because it's a good show. It's like The Challenge. If you guys like The Challenge, you're gonna like it. I don't really want to talk about it yet until the finale comes out. But hey, I'm enjoying it. I would definitely recommend it if you need something to watch. I'm also watching Ultimatum Queer Love right now. I love The Ultimatum. I prefer The Ultimatum over Love is Blind. The issue with Ultimatum, though, is like a lot of the couples end up leaving before the experiment even starts. So I'm really invested into this season because none of the couples, as far as where I'm at, have left. I'm on episode 4, 5, I think now. So they haven't left. You know, when people are like, oh my gosh, I'm regretting this decision, especially if like no one's like into them. They're like, why did I bring this person here? But everyone has decided to stick it out. Troopers. I'll never forget we were robbed of a very good ultimatum last season. That was the original one with Nick and Vanessa Lachey. It was last season, I believe, or a season before that, when a couple literally decided to dip out. You guys know what couple I'm talking about. She seemed to be very crazy. And then they just popped up. She was pregnant. They had a kid. But a lot of their stuff just seemed unresolved. So I'm just wondering if they're still together. I can't remember their names. But he had like the most villainous nose ever. Like, if that was a villain in a movie, they would be known as the Nose. But I enjoy The Ultimatum. I think it's something fun to watch. Queer Love, though, is really good. I do enjoy that. And it's just always interesting to see the dynamics. And it's also interesting to see, like, I think with Queer Love, we get a whole other added layer of personal story because these are people that have not came out sometimes or, like, are not comfortable in their sexuality, at least to opening up with their, like, parents and stuff. So I prefer the Queer Love one, low key, because I'm like, okay, period. I'm being fed like some drama, some other stuff. Like, it's not just about you gave this person an ultimatum. There's a lot of times these people are trying to find their identity. Speaking of identities, it looks like Anne Hathaway is back in her identity bag when it comes to Devil Wears Prada. Devil Wears Prada has a premiere slated for May 2026. She is spotted in New York City filming around. She's back. Anne Hathaway is back as Andy. Looks like she's back at Runway. We're all very excited. You know what's crazy is, like, I really didn't get into Devil Wears Prada until like maybe a year, 2 years ago. And it's like one of my favorite movies. Anne Hathaway, Lindsay Lohan, Hilary Duff, those are like my favorite like white girls. Those are like my girls. Those are like my favorite white girl actors, like actresses, period. Like, I just love them so much. So I'm always like excited whenever they got a new project coming out. Lindsay Lohan, she got Freakier Friday coming out. That's the golden age of acting for me, like the Disney girls. And then Anne Hathaway has just always been one of my favorite actors. But that was all of the reality topics. I want to get into Real Housewives of Atlanta because this reunion, it was something. You are listening to What the Reality with me, Cassia Roberts. We are getting into the Real Housewives of Atlanta because it is toxic, but it is Tuesday. So, of course, with that comes some recap. I've been doing my recaps differently lately. I just want to talk about like topics that were really brought up throughout the episode that I was just kind of like, let's talk about it. Let's actually talk about it because that was a valid point or that made no sense to me. So basically, Angela, this is my issue. So Angela and Phaedra's fight is continuing from the episode before. I'm like sitting on my ankle and I shouldn't be. I'm trying to work on my posture like Alandria from Love is Blind. Okay, so their argument is continuing about this whole Marcus thing. Who brought this man? Junebug. Does Phaedra know this man? Which some argue Phaedra knows this man because her brother knows this man. And there was a clip, obviously infamous, from Real Housewives of Atlanta season 3 when she first came on, where she's claiming to know Nene Leakes. So she's like, you know me, we both from Athens. We both went to the same high school. Athens is small. Full circle. You know, like, okay, that's Angela's reasoning as to why Phaedra would know this Marcus character. Also because Phaedra has said this man's name and what he does. And Phaedra's alleging she only knows that because that's what he said. Two things can be true. However, this is very far stretch if Phaedra did bring him on. And I think because Angela continues to bring this man on, like calls him up from her phone and gives him energy to kind of point the from, I guess, what Britt would say, gun, pistol at different people on the show, for me, is kind of questionable. Do I think Angela would go out of her way to bring this man on to kind of discredit her marriage? No. But I think it's weird that this man has said this about your relationship, and now you keep bringing this man on or bringing him up. Like, I think it's very weird. Now, did Phaedra have something to do with this? There is a possibility, and I'm just going to put it out there. Is it far-fetched? Yes. And the only reason why I think there's a possibility is because of the whole, she knew Nene from Athens. But, I watched this show with my mom. She said the only reason she knew Nene from Athens is because she was trying to get on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Clock it, Mom. Like, that is a real valid point. So she was like, well, I said we knew each other when casting reached out to me because we both are from Athens. So, like, that could be a whole other thing. Essentially, Angela brings up season 9 how Phaedra has a history of lying on people and taking it too far. And that's when, for me, we kind of got to stop. You kind of got to, yes, that happened. We won't stop talking about it. But at what point, this happened 8 years ago, and Angela, you weren't there. You were a viewer. So you can't keep using season 9 as an excuse as to why she would do this with you and Marcus. Audience, we can. But I think she's like breaking that fourth wall when it's kind of like you're showing you're also an audience member as well. When you're like, well, you did this to Candy, so of course you would do it to me. And it's just kind of like, I don't like that these newbies, and I talked about this in the beginning of my show, I don't like the fact that these newbies are coming on and they got a loaded clip from seasons before, when it's like you were watching as a fan. You weren't there. And it was just like when Portia was like, Britt came in thinking she was going to get one version of Kenya, and she didn't. So she tried to get that version of Kenya. You had a preconceived notion. Smartest thing Portia has probably said all season long. Just like when Kelly came in, and who else came in? Shamia, talking about Drew is a liar. Based on previous seasons you guys watched as a fan, what has she lied to you about? And we're going to get to Shamia, because Shamia has disappointed me the most as a newbie. But what has she lied to you about? It's like now Drew's just like this easy person to hop on because she's lied. I don't even remember what she's lied about, because she do lie, but I'm just saying, like, I can't even remember what's the major lie that everyone keeps bringing up, because I'm just like, why are we still talking about her being a liar? Like, I don't even know. We haven't even gotten to Drew's divorce yet, so I hope that's in part 3, like, when the men come out, and Ralph's gonna be there. They just love to give this man a platform. But, so Phaedra calls, like, I'm just noticing a pattern of the newbies using past seasons as an excuse for the veterans' behavior, or because of how they act a certain way. When I'm like, you weren't there though when this stuff happened. So for me as a viewer, it's kind of like, that's like me getting casted for Real Housewives of Atlanta tomorrow. I would go in, yeah, you go in with kind of like, okay, I know how this person seems, but it's kind of playing, it's all fair game when you are rolling with these housewives. You can't look at it from a fan's perspective, from a watcher's perspective. You have to look at it from this is what I'm experiencing with this person. And I think it's unfair that Portia, Phaedra, and Kenya and Drew are consistently getting these reps just because y'all have seen something. And at the end of the day, the reality TV show is very much filmed, scripted. Certain things are supposed to happen. Producers are in people's ears. So it's kind of like certain things you're supposed to see, and then certain stuff you're not. So yes, we did see Phaedra do something low down to Candy, but what does that have to do with you, Angela? That is my question. Phaedra has called up her brother from Portia's phone. So that was BS. I love Phaedra. Bad dress and accessories of all. I'm not picking up the phone for a random number. I let them leave a voicemail because one, oh my gosh, do I know this person? Two, it's a tax collector or something, a call collector. Three is spam. So only real ones that are really trying to get in contact with me, send me a text. Leave me a voicemail. Then I'll call back. If I'm not answering for a phone call, I don't know though. Regardless, I'm just not. It could be like the job of my dreams. I would hope you leave a voicemail or email me before you call me. I never understand why jobs like call you. I would hope you would email me. Hey, I'm gonna call you. Like, give a girl a heads up. Needless to say, Phaedra's brother had a heads up that he should be expecting a phone call from Portia's phone. So he played into it. He was like, I don't know who this girl's name is Kimberly. It's like, I don't know who she is. Angela says they are friends on Facebook. He said, and I'm friends with like 1,000,000+1 people on Facebook. And it's also a weak argument. It's like, you know how many people I'm cool with I'm followers of on Instagram? I'm still in the midst of deleting so many folks in there because I just want a real Instagram refresh. But even TikTok, like, TikTok, I did it so differently. Like, I'm very specific with who I follow. But Instagram, I feel like was like turning to the next Facebook. Oh my gosh, like my friend dated their brother. I met them once. So it's kind of like we're following each other on Instagram. Now, if you were to ask me tomorrow, do I know XYZ? I'm following them on Instagram. I'd be like, who? So that's a weak argument to me, Angela. Like, especially Facebook, because Facebook, you could be from the same street in y'all Facebook friends just because you from the same street. Like, you don't know this person, but you know that they are in the neighborhood club on the app for neighborhood watch. Like, but you don't know this person or that person's cousin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Facebook is such a weak argument. It's not like I even would have given her Instagram because I've been like, ooh, now who you following on Instagram? Facebook friends. Now, I don't have a Facebook, but Facebook friends, I just hear you be friends with everybody on there. So it was kind of weak argument. Phaedra and Angela, then they like go back and forth about the rooms that they're in and how Phaedra says the rooms that she's in, they don't know about Angela. And Angela's like, well, the rooms I'm in, you're trying to get in. She then says that she hears Phaedra's trying to break into those rooms. She said, like, you don't know Charles. Phaedra says she didn't hang out with Charles like 10 years ago, and it's giving like they hooked up because Phaedra definitely feels the type of way that Charles is married. Like, let's just call it for what it is. She's definitely feeling a type of way that Charles is married and that he has a relationship with Angela. Because as soon as she came on the show, she was like, she didn't know Charles was married. And I just feel like for me, that would be like, oh, so did y'all used to mess around? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't know who I believe in this fight. I don't know if I believe Angela. I don't know if I believe Phaedra. It's very messy, a little too messy for Housewives for me because it's like, I don't like when stories aren't coherent or cohesive. So I'm just kind of like, we're not watching a ping pong match, as Phaedra would say. We are literally watching basketball and they're getting all on the floor. They're fighting over the ball. They're making no sense. Calls are being called that don't need to be called. The refs are in. It's not making sense. That's how I feel about that situation. Angela has proven that she's 43 years old. She brought out her birth certificate. She also gave an update with her whole home flipping business. She said she had to give up, especially that was around the time she lost her mom. Sorrows go out again for Angela losing her mom. I know it's really sad, but at least her mom was able to make her TV debut. You know what I mean? And she can watch her mom low-key whenever. So, I just feel like that's always like a win when they have their TV debut. she also says like there was just too much money going under for the home flipping, and she did not see it making any income because it was kind of like she just had to keep asking Charles. And I do appreciate that vulnerability from her. And then an interesting question, which I didn't even know was brewing, asked a viewer asked if like, do you feel like Drew has your back? Because and Angela said no. She felt like she did not have her back at the finale party or at another one when her and Brett were going at it. And Drew was even shocked to hear this. And then Shamia chimed in to kind of make it about herself. And she was like, so now you see why I go so hard for Portia, or like, it's so funny you call me a lapdog when you can't even stand up for your friend. Failed assist. Shamia. Shamia does not deserve front or first seat at the reunion. Shamia does not deserve that. She's very insecure. And I think that goes deeper if we really want to talk about it. I do think Shamia is used to being in the shadows of Portia, therefore feeling a little wronged by her. I'm sure there's things she was told growing up, being the dark skin. Like everything relates back to race and color, especially in the Black community. When I look at Shamia and when I see Shamia and Portia together, I see a very insecure woman, someone that is not comfortable speaking up for themselves. And we learn that because Shamia has also, just swept a lot under the rug with Phaedra, even though Phaedra was like, you literally laughed it off. Do you not recall that? And then Shamia's like, well, of course I'm going to laugh off those accusations. And even Cynthia chimes in. She's like, well, that's the problem, Shamia. Like, you can't do that if that's not how you feel. I mean, do it if that's how you feel. But don't claim to be over something when you're not. And Shamia has poor communication skills for her age. I'm sorry. She's not there yet. It's kind of like she holds on to things inside, and it is because she's a people pleaser. And I also think with people pleasing, you're kind of like a friend to no one, because it's like you're always just telling people what they want to hear. So you're kind of not over the Phaedra and Candy of it all, which happened in season 9. Yes, that caught a stray. She's not even upset with Phaedra. She's upset with Portia for sitting there and listening to that nonsense about her and Candy. Like, what she say? I mean, that's what she is upset about. She's upset that Portia sat there, her childhood friend, and didn't say nothing. And that is something that her and Portia have already had conversations with, but now she's saying she's never had that conversation with Phaedra. Phaedra is claiming that they did have a long conversation. Not about that, but she said they had a long conversation of her, like, returning back to the show. And Shamia essentially just laughed off those accusations. Like, she wasn't really affected by them. And that's why Phaedra says she's always caught off guard by her confessionals, because she's like, did we not have a conversation about this? And then Shamia's like, well, no, we didn't, because I pretended like everything was okay. And that's when it's just kind of like, girl, speak up. And you can even tell Shamia knows she's people pleasing, because in the back, when she's talking to Kelly, she's like, I know I need to get more involved and like talk and stuff. And so in that case, it's like she's kind of like making up these buffoonery stories, which is kind of like flopping to me. But what else did I want to say? So Shamia also was mad that Phaedra gave Britt some sisterly advice. And I thought it was really interesting how Andy brought this up, because it was like kind of the most realist moment. Like, we see Phaedra try to give to Britt, like, hey, you're not making nice with people. You're actually making more enemies. And even Portia's like, that's like the first time I've actually seen like an OG or like a veteran do that on camera. Because she's like, Nene and Cynthia talked to me off camera. No one really pulled me on camera. So it's like, it was just very real to see. And then Shamia got offended by that. She's like, well, she wasn't the only one that tried to give Britt advice. She was like, I tried to give Britt advice. But we're talking about veterans, Shamia. You're not a veteran. You're not a veteran. You're not an OG. Like, we're talking about, it's something special with seeing a housewife that has been in this game kind of, split game to this girl, to this newbie, be like, hey, you are making more enemies than friends. You should probably fix that. So she was just trying to help her. But Shamia wanted to relate it to herself and how she was trying to help. What I also find interesting when they were on the topic of Britt was how, like, Shamia said she's just shocked how Britt was acting when they got on camera after the incident. So we do eventually end up talking about, like, we end up talking about the image incident. and how there was an investigation done. And my question will continue. How was there an investigation done, Bravo, if Britt is now saying the day of the reunion, because they talk about their statements, how was there an investigation done and Kenya was fired if the images weren't even Britt? Like, how was the investigation done? And then also about the pistol comment, Kenya has said on her YouTube that the investigation was done 3 weeks later. So this girl, Britt, could have gotten rid of the pistol. So it's like, was there an investigation done? Or 2 weeks later? And then it's like, what investigation was done with these images? Because the images weren't Britt. That's my serious question. But Shamia said she always thought it was weird. After the incident, Britt was fine. She was pretty happy. She was pretty okay. And then camera started rolling and Britt was distraught. And Kelly agreed. She was like, they went to dinner somewhere. She was fine. She was happy. Low key, like, I finally did it. I finally got to Kenya. And now cameras are rolling. I'm distraught. I'm crying. So now I'm like, did Britt know all along those weren't her images? I don't know. They also talk about Cynthia's been getting a lot of backlash for not defending Kenya more and basically, coddling Britt. But Cynthia says, like, no matter what, friend or not, I'm not going to compromise my integrity. You could be my kid to make you feel better. And I agree. I don't know why Cynthia was getting so much heat, but Cynthia and Kenya still have not spoken since that event. And Kenya has been outside with Candy and everybody. Like, they just still haven't spoken. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. I don't know what else Kenya was expecting. I think Cynthia even told her, like, I just think you're better than this. And she said, I'll talk to you later. And then Kenya just never responded. I don't know if Kenya thought Cynthia was also going to go on a filming strike with her in honor of her because that was her good friend. But Cynthia and Kenya haven't really been 100, if we're going to keep it a buck, for a while, ever since the Ultimate Girls Trip. They just haven't really been, I feel like their yin and yang has been yay and nay. I don't know. Like, what's a metaphor to that? They haven't really been 100. So, I don't know. I just feel like that was destined to happen. I mean, I do hope they can reconcile, especially if Kenya comes back next season. I'm hearing she may be back as a friend of, but I don't know. Cynthia says she has tried reaching out and she hasn't returned her calls, which is very interesting. So I don't know what else happened. I don't think Cynthia did anything insane. She just was like, hey, I wouldn't do that. They also talk about Kenya being a loose canyon. Portia talks about that, how she's like, when the pistol was mentioned, she was like, now you got a loose canyon. And that canyon is literally Kenya. And it's like, she knew she was gathering stuff and she knew she got it from Drew because that's what Kenya said. That's what Kenya told her, even though Kenya has went on her YouTube and said she didn't get it from any of the current cast. So discrepancies in that story. If you guys want to really listen to some discrepancies, make sure you listen to What's the Reality on Portia and Simon's relationship, part 1, that is out. Part 2 coming out soon because Portia has some discrepancies. But Drew was shocked when she said that, claiming that Drew was the one that basically sent the images. Do I think Drew sent them? No, I think Ming Lee did because Ming Lee was apparently filming for that. Who's on Basketball Wives currently? Who I actually like. I like her, but you can also tell her veneers are too big for her mouth because like she talks with like she drags her teeth. Like you can tell it's uncomfortable to talk. So yeah, Andy, the investigation, what investigation? So Shamia then breaks down, they talk more about Britt, which is unfortunate that Britt isn't there to really get into it, but she wanted to post her reunion dress, which I think was AI. I'm like, how you posting this dress, but like, you're not even there? Whatever. Shamia breaks down about the comments Britt made about, her daughter not actually being sick. Shiloh, the validity, I can't say that. The truthfulness of how much that story was. And she was hoping to really resolve that with Britt. And she feels like Britt's issue with her isn't even from all of that. It is from her taking up for Kelly and feeling like she's still her best friend when she was like, that wasn't even the case. Like, we all came in this together. talk about the alliance issues again. Shamia claims that she thinks that Kelly or Britt was still upset about like the donations and stuff too, but she's like, I just really wasn't. Like it seemed like a bunch of miscommunication is what Shamia is saying. Then Shamia says that Drew is a liar. She gets back at Drew again. I don't know what her issue is with Drew because they talk about the singing career. She's like, she's never lied on Drew's singing or whatever. Drew's like, yes, you did. Drew was stepping into her housewife position. She's like, you guys are not gonna keep playing me and then acting like I'm the crazy one. And then Shamia's like, well, you just lie all the time, so it's like hard for me to keep up. And then Drew's like, what have I lied about? And then Shamia's like, well, first your Judith Leber purse. And then she actually brought out a receipt saying that that was the Kara version. And I don't know if maybe Shamia's shopping that one because Judith Leber has now posted on Instagram under some comments after she was like, that is actually a Judith Leber bag. And Drew also posted her own receipts to the designer purse. People are like, that's so weird. Why would you have that specific receipt? When you buy anything that's expensive, you're going to keep that receipt. Sorry, I have plenty of receipts I've kept as well. That's just the reality of it whenever something's really getting your coin. So the RHOA purse is like $6,900 and Shamia was alleging she got the Kara version, which was $134. I thought it was funny because Portia asked for it and Shamia's like, we got to see how we do. I'm not just giving off this, the Kara version. Judith Leber bags are expensive and they're known for like, they're just being funky, different, and its taste, style, whatever. So Judith Leber has been added to the comments and she said that is in fact one of her bags. Like, what are you talking about, girl? So then we learn like Shamia and Portia are not on good terms right now. We see their package. They are not on good terms. Portia says she could have gotten over the show stuff, but it's the stuff that keeps happening after, which I agree with. Like Shamia went on the Breakfast Club. She's went on a couple of shows and just said like how much of like playing into the narrative that Portia is not a good friend, that she did not congratulate her for her peach. So now Portia has also went to her social media accounts and posted the receipts of her sending her flowers, congratulations, and her comment underneath her post initially when she was announcing that she's finally a peach holder. And Shamia's biggest thing is like she did not congratulate her. They didn't really have time to celebrate because Portia was going through a lot, kind of weaponizing what Portia's going through to kind of like get the victim out at it. When Shamia's in, like, oh, my friend was going through all of this, so she didn't have time for me. But I don't know. That situation's messy. Unfortunate that they have let the show also come in between the relationship. But we're going to see what the mom's beef is because that seems to also be stemming into why their relationship is so fractured. But Portia just has an issue with her lying. Portia and Shamia are both liars. And the sooner everyone realizes that, the sooner everyone will sleep better at night. I don't have any sides when it comes to the Portia and Shamia side. I think they're both full of crap. I do think Portia did not want her friend being a peach holder because I think it would have dimmed her light a little bit. Shamia was a good peach holder at first, but she's really flopped with these allegations of like Drew lying and these stories, the reads, and it's like we can already see Portia may not be the best friend. I think it's kind of you, and I will relate it back to Chantel kind of because it's like Chantel, we see Jackie's probably not the best mom, but it's like when you're continuously trying to play into something and continuously trying to prove to the audience when it's like what you don't know is like we can really see a lot. We can see a lot with edits. We don't really need you going out of your way to kind of manipulate things. And that's what I'm seeing with Shamia. And that's why I will continue to call her insecure because you claim you're over this stuff with Portia. You want to work through it. But you were constantly sneak dissing her. And I do believe she called up Drew and them or Angela and Drew to say, talked about the wedding and stuff. And it's like, Portia's like, that was already talked about seasons ago. Why I didn't go. So it's just kind of like, but even though I'm hearing that reason is a discrepancy. Listen to Portia and Simon's relationship if you want to listen to some more discrepancies. It's just, I don't take anything serious when Portia and Shamia start arguing because I'm like, y'all are both full of it. I don't know if you realize, but both of you are literally full of it. You're both, I don't know. Portia claims that Shamia trying to sabotage her. That was your part 2. So part 3, it looks like the husbands come out, or the husband, because I think Charles is like the only husband. And then Ralph and Dennis come and they're sitting on the other side. Like, he's not sitting with Drew. I think that's really weird, Bravo. I think it's really weird. But yeah, that was your episode of What the Reality. Thank you so much for listening. Those were the topics I just wanted to gloss over for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I said, I don't want to do like scene for scene. Like, oh my gosh, I'm talking about this, I'm talking about that. But thank you so much for listening. And until the next time.